Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein. All the way down at the end of the table is Ryan Gerdes, and in the middle, like the middle child, just the little one, the middle one.
I like to put it,
the one
like
that
I'm keeping you guys in line.
Yeah, the one that nobody likes so much.
Keep you guys arm's length.
All right. Well, his name is Justin Frederick. You are going to want to text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Ryan, you wake up tomorrow and you find out that you just won the Powerball, and your net, what you're going to be putting into your checking account, let's just say $50 million, $100 million, whatever. Let's say $50 million. What are you going to do? What's the first thing that you acquire?
I mean, surprise, surprise, I'm buying more real estate, but it is going to be a little bit more emotionally driven. And then, I'll probably get like 2 or 3 different properties that are either on the beach or up in the mountains in Tahoe or in Ireland, or some cool stuff that we just use solely for our own consumption. And then I would start getting into commercial real estate. Right. I like that's where a bulk of it would go.
What
am I doing?
Clydesdale horse? Because you're a big rodeo guy.
I'm a big rodeo guy.
Can you ride Clydesdales?
Yeah,
Can people ride them?
I've ridden Clydesdales.
You can't. Justin,
I could ride it if I could get on it. No jokes there, guys.
Oh God. I would actually start off with buying a commercial little strip mall. I would still keep doing business, and I would make my business rent out of my commercial strip mall. Probably try to sell you guys on moving in there too, and
you wouldn't have to sell us very hard.
Get Coochie to move in there too. We'd have it'd be a great time. We'd make sure we have.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing we had $100 million because there's no work getting done.
Work getting done.
For anyone out there that may not know, Coochie is a human being. And
yeah.
His name is Anthony
Coochie, but we call him Coochie.
Yeah.
His legal name.
Yeah, that's
his legal
good
name.
Call there. Good call there. I would absolutely. I would buy a couple more Airbnb short-term rentals in a few places around the country. I'd probably close to like Mammoth, one close to the ocean. I would do close to Yellowstone. I'd probably even join you next door up in Alaska. I really love what you got to say about that up there. And then I would definitely buy a few more horses and get a nice, real cool, probably $1 million RV. I know that's a big waste of money, but it would be really cool to have.
Well, I mean, if you're netting $100 million, and I mean,
$50 million.
Is it 50 that you said? Either way.
But even at a $1 million, spending 1% on a depreciating asset,
2%.
2%.
Well, I'm just saying if you netted $100 million, it'd be 1%. But anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, the very first thing that I would do is I would rent out some sort of castle-type structure in Napa. I'd bring all you boys up there, and I'd say, where are we going to invest? What real estate are we going to invest? That's the first thing that I'm going to do. And so we're all three alike. And so the question is, in this article, where do wealthy Americans put their money now? Because it's important. If you want to build wealth and you want to, invest in your retirement, it's important to take a look at those that are already wealthy, seeing what they're doing, not listening to your coworker that doesn't own any real estate and is always complaining about this and always complaining about that. Because it's always amazing on where people draw their advice. So this survey, a Chubb survey, interviewed 650 Americans and 150 of our friends to the north in Canada with an investable.
You do this every time you read.
I know. I just need to have an official reader. Net worth ranging from $500K, which is not a ton, to $5 to $50 million, with 3 in 4 having $5 million or more. And so the question was posed to them: what areas do you plan to spend more in the coming year than they did previously? And 73% of them said real estate. And the to Justin's point, I guess he's somewhat justified here. The least, coming in at 19%, say they were going to invest in yachts and boats, and I would throw $1 million RV into that category.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm not judging you.
Yeah,
I think
no.
it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. But people who want to build wealth in real estate, or build more, or who want to build wealth, I should say, period, or want to build more wealth, period. The wealthy people are investing in real estate and continuing to invest in real estate and plan on investing a lot of money in the next year in real estate.
And of that 73%, 60% of them, their first purchase would be an investment property. You know, and so I know that I said that the first one I would do would be for more personal consumption, and that's still true. But right there on the heels would be more investments. So this doesn't surprise me at all, because the people that have a lot of money more often than not got there on their own. And the people that were given money are usually filing bankruptcy 10 years after they've been given the money.
Or
right?
in rehab.
Right, or both, right? I mean, this excites me, because it lets me know that, hey, I'm doing something right, and the teachings and the principles that we're all about are in alignment with, you know, very prosperous, successful business people, because you don't get to that net worth of, you know, $5 million or more if you're not an entrepreneur. Now, I know there's some execs out there that are making, you know, we were talking about Roger Goodell making $40-50 million a year, but I can promise you, he owns a ton of real estate.
I'm not sure if that's what you meant to say, because if you meant to say it, I'm going to disagree with you, because I don't think that a lot of times entrepreneurship not necessarily equates to building wealth in real estate. I know a lot of people that aren't entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Sure.
They just flat out kind of followed our model.
But what I'm saying is even if they're not entrepreneurs, and then they've created that side hustle or that extra portfolio on top of what other savings, or it's a 401k or a pension, they're still investing in real estate, and they understand how that wealth tracks, and so they're going to continue to do so whether or not they're an entrepreneur.
Well, this is what we do, and this is what we specialize in, helping people, whether they are buying their first home to owning 100 doors. We specialize in helping people build strategies to building wealth in real estate. We'd love to have that conversation with you. It's a simple text. Just take out your phone and text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Now, Justin, Ryan and I are the real estate wealth managers, so we're on the actual real estate side of things. So we all work with incredibly wealthy people. But Ryan and I, for the most part, really don't see the numbers. We don't see the net worth. We're not, because we're just helping them.
It's confidential information.
It's confidential information. You on the lending side get to see it. Like, what are you seeing with these wealthy people that you work with and that you're talking with and looking at their numbers? And do you ever just go, man, I wish I was?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's honestly, that's how I got on this path myself. Is working with these people, seeing their books and seeing their tax returns and just asking them questions. But I find that majority of the people that already have a portfolio in real estate, they're always hungry for more. It becomes a.
That's how we are.
Yeah, it becomes a almost like a hobby.
I
for
wake
them.
up in the morning going, what am I having for lunch? That consumes me. Ryan wakes up in the morning going, where's that next property?
Yeah.
Where's that next opportunity?
Yeah. And honestly, now I'm looking at that all the time. I'm always looking for, even, it doesn't matter when rates are high, and you guys are the same way. It doesn't matter if rates are high. It doesn't matter if rates are low. It doesn't matter what the economy is looking like. I'm looking for that property that's going to either support me with a bunch of revenue, or I'm looking for a quick turnaround flip if I can find one. I'm always looking for a way to just get more into real estate. And again, for me, it's all, I love tangible assets. I do diverse, but it's all about tangible assets. And I feel like that's the common thread that I get from majority of the wealthy people that I see. They dabble in both, but they're heavier in real estate than they are in other stocks, and they do like tangible assets as well.
All right, so there's going to be basically two types of people that we're going to talk to. There are people that don't own a home, and their next home purchase obviously is going to be their first home purchase, or people that own at least one home. And so the advice that I would give, especially for the first timer, is, because you take a look at, the survey, you take a look at all these people that have accumulated wealth. And I think for some people, Ryan, it could be very overwhelming. Yeah, well, this guy's worth $50 million and I don't even own a house yet and forget it. And I think my advice to them is every single one of these people that have built that kind of wealth, it always started with the first, just the first. And then for the people that own at least one home, my advice is don't get overwhelmed by what other people own. My advice is it's now the next one.
Well, and I also think that once you've gotten through that first or the next one, Warren Buffett, he's always been the one that says, and really stuck to, you be the leader when everyone else is being the follower, and you be the follower when everyone else is acting like the leader. Just not sticking with the pack, because there's always going to be different opportunities out there, which I think is leading to which kind of summarizes your point there. Because right now, when we're seeing recession written all over CNN and the stock market, and all we're seeing is red arrows and sky is falling, etc. There's a lot of people that are out there that need cash, and so if you have any, being able to understand how you can still leverage it even after you do an acquisition, like say one of those pressure points of a seller is, I sell it for this if you're going to, get a mortgage on it, but I'll sell it for significantly less if you pay cash. There's no difference really in your world. All that there is just this made up world that the seller has created. Pay that cash. And then as soon as you're done with done closing escrow on it, then get a loan out on it. And then all of a sudden you've just accomplished both, because right now interest rates are doing so well. And so I know that that kind of deters off of what we're talking about here. But I mean, there's just so many different strategies and opportunities that are available out there. So yeah, starting with that first one obviously is going to be pivotal. But don't just approach it like it's a primary, because where's the number in here? Basically, it's discussing how most people, they do approach their home as being an investment, their primary home as being an investment. And what that tells me is that people have finally really started listening to the 401k show. They're understanding that, okay, I can still live in it right now, but in the future I can turn this into an investment vehicle. And then rinse, repeat, boom, boom, boom. I mean, we've talked about our 401k plan over and over again. This is a good time to strike. So for the past couple years, I've primarily been looking for flips. Why is that? Because rates are high, or rates were higher, right? And they're still kind of high comparatively speaking to 2020. And so now that rates are going down, I'm looking for more buy and holds. And as they continue to go down, assuming they do, then I'm going to be looking for more buy and holds, because like we just talked about earlier this week, rental rates are going to be going up. That's just a mathematical certainty. So again, you need to go back to the 4 pillars on how you're making money in real estate, right? Appreciation, passive income, loan payoff, and tax advantages. So what is that doing for you? And are you really paying attention to all those? And then are you formulating a model, and are you executing that model that is taking all those things into account? Because I have a lot of investors that do only look at passive income, and then I have investors who don't give a shit about passive income. They just see that huge appreciation year over year, and their plan is to liquidate after a specified period of time. So figuring out what model works for you, and then implementing it and sticking to your guns, I mean, it's more important now than it's ever been.
And not everybody has somebody that they can talk to and walk them through building and developing a model. And we've been saying it all episode. It's just what we do. We love the three of us love to talk about football. We love to talk about bourbon, but boy, we really love to talk about how to build wealth and make money in real estate. And we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, I'm going to pivot here just because this is just fresh off our minds because we had an incredible meeting this morning. Because I'm going to get into some of the numbers, so we're not going to call out his name or anything, but we met this guy. He was introduced from another friend who listens to the podcast. And so I want to walk everybody through the scenario and the difference between the majority of answers that you will get from just the majority of real estate agents out there, as opposed to us being, even though we are real estate agents, but we are real estate wealth managers in the different mindset. So he owns a home, gorgeous home. Okay, looks at the lake, worth about 1.5 to 1.7.
Probably right in there.
Right?
Yeah.
Owes nothing on it, and he wants to downsize. So most real estate agents are going to go in there with their CMA and this is how we're going to market it, and this is what it's going to worth, and then we're going to do open houses, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we go in there and say, no, wait a minute. First of all, let's look at all the options. Probably not a good idea to sell. The longer you hang on to this house and you have no debt service on it, so qualifying for another house is not going to be a problem. The longer you hang on to this house, the more money that you are going to make. So let's take a look at this as even though it's your primary right now, but to Ryan, to your point, it is an investment vehicle. So it's worth 1.7, let's just say. What is this house now going to need? What does this house look like and due to HOA restrictions, you can't put renters in there for any time less than 6 months. So what does that midterm rental market look like? What kind of money are you going to generate from that? How much money are we going to have to put into the house to get it rent ready, a fully furnished, midterm rental? And oh, by the way, you owe nothing on a $1.7 million house, so let's talk about HELOCs, and let's talk about having access to that equity to use for future investments before you move out of the house. And it's just I'm just going to brag on us. It's just that it's those different types of conversations. Whereas if somebody had just gone in with that CMA and that listing presentation, he might have just signed the line, put the house on the market and sold it and left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. And it's not a question. It's just,
That's just good. Yeah. Good bragging rights. Good job.
Thank you. So jump in.
So I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than like the moral of the story is that he would have made a mistake. I don't really
he's
know.
He's probably gonna be living for free in his next house because this house is gonna be paying.
But the point of the matter is, this is why people should be texting the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON, because regardless of where you're at in your real estate journey, these are the different types of conversations that you're going to have with us.
And I also think that with him specifically, like many investors, this will be his first investment property, and it's just like blood in the water. You know, he's gonna get this first one. He's gonna get that first rental check, and then he's gonna be like, huh. And I'm still making appreciation on this thing,
Yep.
and like we told him, I'm no accountant, but my guess is you need the tax write-offs, don't you? And he's like, yeah. So I'm pretty sure on that element, he's going to be hitting on all four pillars of how to make money in real estate, and then he's just not going to be able to wait to get his hands on the next one. So.
Well, it is on you to text us if you want to have a real estate conversation about how to build wealth and begin to build that strategy. It's on you to pick up your phone and text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. All right, boys, it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all gotten together, And we just got a little carried away. One bourbon turned into 2, turned into 4, and you know the story. And now it's midnight, and we got an Uber driver. We got a designated driver because we're responsible people. And you know how it gets. You at midnight, you get hungry. Where do you go to?
His questions are always food related.
Yeah, always.
I get passionate. I love it. I mean, I'm right now thinking about. I know my selection, and I'm on my own for dinner tonight. So I might be doing this at 5 tonight.
So yeah, what's your late night after you've had a few cocktails
and you're starving?
You're starving. All right, and so we've talked a little bit about this. So I'm going to let you guys. I'm going to save your guys' answers for you because I agree with them. But I love food trucks, and there's at
midnight they're open.
Yeah. Oh. Well, there's a couple of different watering holes that I go to, and they pay a food truck to go out there.
Smart.
And so
Brilliant.
sometimes it's Mediterranean food, sometimes it's brick oven pizza, sometimes it's just hamburgers, but for some reason or another, I think the food truck game is still the unsung hero of the restaurant world. They're doing some amazing things out of it, and every single time that we go to one of these, so one of them is over there as over at Butler's Easy, and so right out front they have a food truck, and the dude's just over there banging it out, and it is awesome every single time. So it could be Mexican food, could be whatever.
We're gonna hire you a ghostwriter because I know none of us here have time to sit down and really write a book, but you should write a book about the best watering holes in Phoenix.
Yeah,
because you've been to them all.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I've been to them all, and then and more often, the moment that they get published in whatever Food and Wine or whatever, they just become all commercialized, and they're not and it's not that it has to be a locals only for me to go to it, but that's just what I prefer.
Right.
I like hanging out with the working man. I like I like that scene.
Yeah.
I like the.
All right, Justin, it's midnight. You're intoxicated Friday night, and you got a designated driver. Where are you stopping?
I'm going to Waffle House. I am going to the Waffle House. It's just been like since high school kind of thing, so it's just always been there, and I'm actually going to go get a waffle.
Really?
Yeah. I get a waffle.
Oh, attaboy.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
No.
You can't go wrong.
If you've ever been in the
bacon.
South and you've ever really partied down in the South, that is the spot. I mean, it is standing room only in the Waffle House.
All right, for me, it's midnight, and I've done this so many times. I love the midnight run to Filiberto's. Not Horberto's or not Rigoberto's, or it's got to be Filiberto's because it's just always been there for me since I moved out here to Phoenix.
I'll do any Berto's.
And I just want a good old-fashioned shredded beef taco piled in their salsa, cheese enchilada, rice and beans, and I am fat and sassy and ready for bed. And everybody goes, is it even good? I go, it's midnight and I'm intoxicated. Does it really matter? I don't know if it's good or not. It just feels good.
I'm always doing the AZ Beezy, the Arizona burrito.
I'll do the rolled tacos.
Those are all strong.
All over it.
All right, well,
pro moves right there.
We appreciate everybody tuning into this episode. Again, if you want to learn strategies on how to build wealth in real estate, all you got to do is text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON.